I'm mystery writer Sherry Harris.
And I'm Wendy Thompson.
And we're in the DC Spotlight.
I'd like to welcome everybody today to our this is the first book club event that we're having here at Barnes & Noble. And this is going to be an ongoing thing for us to interview authors who are in town, authors who are featuring their books in DC, because DC is like the big hub where everybody wants to be.
So can be that. This is
Thanks. DC is such a hub for everybody wanting to bring their books here. And you guys can move up closer if you want to, that's fine. Especially authors who are featuring their books in DC, because DC is like the big hub where everybody wants to be. The political world, the entertainment world, we're like the center of that. One of the major, like LA, New York, Miami, Atlanta. So DC is a place where people want to get their books out. And this is the closest Barnes & Noble to Washington, D.C. So we're going to continue to do this on a long-term basis. So you'll see more authors. Just check the Barnes & Noble listing and see who's going to be here. We have a lot of people lined up, so it's going to be very interesting. And it's called the DC Spotlight Barnes & Noble Book Club. So, and I'll after the event is over, I'll give you more information about how you can see actually the video from this event and other events. So welcome everyone. I'm glad you guys came out. Thank you. So today we have Sherry Harris. Sherry Harris is a mystery author, and she has been writing for quite a while now. And she has, how many books do you have now?
The fourth one came out in April, and the fifth one comes out in February.
So you're a mystery author, and your mystery series centers around a lady named Sarah Winston, and it's her garage sale mystery. So is it funny? Is it a funny?
There's elements of humor in the book. They're kind of lighthearted, but they're also serious because it is about a crime and a dead body, and so but there's a little of both.
Okay, so what's the latest book? What's the title of your latest book?
A Good Day to Buy is the latest one.
A Good Day to Buy. So continuing on that theme of garage sales.
Right.
So give us the background of the book. I mean the book series. Like how did it start?
Well, it's kind of an unusual path, I think, to getting published. An editor with Kensington in New York City decided he wanted a garage sale themed mystery series, and he went to an agent who went to a friend of mine and said, you know, it was just, do you know anybody that could write this? And so my friend said, what about writing a garage sale mystery series? And I'd been working on another series, and I was like, well, let me think about it. And I woke up the next morning and I was like, I've got to at least try. And so she put me in touch with the agent, and I wrote what was a proposal, and that's how it got published.
So who is Sarah? Is that based on someone that you know?
No, she's just an imaginary person, but like me, she was a Air Force wife, and like me, she loves garage sales. And we also lived in Massachusetts, and I loved it there, and so we set the books there. So I did take parts of my life,
okay,
but she's a lot braver or more foolish than I am, because if I saw a dead body, I'd run screaming.
So it's set in a fictional town. It's not in a real town.
It's based on the town of Bedford, Massachusetts, and the real Air Force base is Hanscom, Massachusetts, but I fictionalized both so I could move things around if I wanted to without anybody yelling at me.
Okay. So tell me about yourself. Tell me a little bit about your background. First of all, let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
Where are you from? I mean, as a child, where are you from?
Okay, I grew up in Davenport, Iowa. It's on the Mississippi River. It's a lovely little town. And I always loved to write and read. And so, you know, I did the yearbook in high school, and took lots of lit classes in college, and ended up being a marketing person for a financial planning company. So I wrote ads, which are a lot of times fiction. And you know, wrote for the newspaper and stuff like that.
So when you were a child, what did you want to be? I'm sure it probably wasn't a mystery writer, was it? Or did you know?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Sadly, I'm old enough that when I was a child, you know, it was like you can be a teacher, you can be a nurse, you can be a secretary. And so probably I thought I would be a teacher, and I went to college to be a teacher, but I realized right before I was going to student teach that I wasn't cut out to be a teacher. So, and then I met my husband, and he was in the Air Force, and we moved around a lot, so it was hard to have a career. We lived in Dayton, Ohio, and there was a ad in the newspaper for a short story contest. And I was like, oh, I'll try writing a short story. I haven't written anything for a long time. And I started writing, and I kept writing and writing and writing, and I suddenly realized I was writing a novel instead of a short story. And so that's really how, as an adult, I got back into the writing world.
Okay, so how did you go from picket fence? Do you have kids?
I have a daughter.
Okay, you have a daughter. So how did you go from picket fence to mystery writer? Like, what was that change?
I always loved mysteries. I grew up reading Nancy Drew, like a lot of mystery writers did, and then, you know, our house was filled with books, and mostly mysteries and thrillers. And so, I don't know. It just happened.
So
really.
your first book. How did you get to that first book?
Okay. Well, so I turned in a proposal, which for cozy mysteries is kind of common that you don't write the whole book first. So a proposal is it's the first 3 chapters of the book. It's an overview of what the series would look like, the main characters, what books might be similar to your book, so they know there's an audience, and a little marketing plan. And so I turned that in. The people in New York said, great, we love it. And then I wrote the first book.
Oh, I see.
Right. And so, and then you do a little sketch of what you want the next 2 books to be like. But
You got option for 2 more books?
yes, the contract was for 3 books.
Oh, good.
And then when I turned in the 3rd one, I got extended for 2 more, and when I turned in the 5th one, I got extended for 2 more. So I'm writing the 7th one right now.
Oh, that's great. That's
Yeah,
great.
thank
now,
you.
the first one was nominated for what? For an award, right?
Yes, it's, the first one, Tag for Death, was nominated for...
Tag for Death. That's funny.
Well, in New England, they call them tag sales instead of garage sales,
Yeah.
so it was kind of a play on that.
Yeah, in the South they do too. Some of
Oh, do
some
they?
places in the South. I'm from the South.
Okay.
They do call them South.
Okay, because usually I always just associate that with New England, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
Where I grew up, it was all garage sales and yard sales.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but it was nominated for what's called the Agatha Award for Best First Novel. There's a conference every spring called Malice Domestic, and they're the ones that give out the awards. So the people attending the conference nominate the books and then vote on the books. And so I was really thrilled to
That's
be.
your first book.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
super. That's great.
Thank
That's
you.
great. That's encouraging. You know, it's
It
very
is.
encouraging to have your first outing to be nominated. So you're working on a new book now. What can you tell us a little about that book?
Sure. I just started, so I'm only about 4,000 words in, but the premise is that Sarah is throwing a garage sale, and just as she's getting ready to say, okay, everybody come on in, police show up, and everything she's trying to sell is stolen. And so she's in big trouble because, and she's, you know, selling stolen goods, and so she's got to get out of that mess.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And I do try to have some kind of serious subplot in each book. In A Good Day to Buy, it talked about veterans and veterans who are some that people that fake being a veteran and why someone would do that and who does that and people being falsely accused of doing that. And in book 7, I talk about women that have served in the military and some of the challenges they face. So I've been interviewing people that I know that are women who've served. So it's been really interesting.
So there's a mixture there of mystery and also military life.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. And are you and your husband still in the military now? I mean, is your husband still in the
No,
military?
he retired about 8 years ago.
Okay. So you're doing this full time then?
I am.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So, let's see. Who inspires you? Who inspires you as far as writing?
So many people. I really think when I first started writing the other series that started from the short story, Sue Grafton and Sarah Paretsky were two of my favorite authors. I just think they have done such a great job with independent women, and that inspired me because although Sarah had been married, she's divorced, she's got to start a new life. She didn't really have a career because she was an Air Force wife, and so she had to find something to do to earn money and support herself. And I like that aspect of books. I think that Sarah isn't. I always feel like Kinsey Milhone, Sue Grafton's protagonist, is kind of lonely and in some ways isolated, and so Sarah has a little more lively life, I think.
Oh, you think your character is more alive?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So those people inspire you. Is there anyone who you're mentoring?
I think so. I've helped people, several people get contracts kind of through the same process as I did. So, yeah, I think I try to help as many people as I can. I feel like somebody helped me out, and I want to pay that forward.
Okay. So, toward the end of this conversation, you're going to give tips about how to become a mystery writer.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, but before we get to that point, I have what we call, what do we call it? We call it our top 10 tell-all in 10 questions.
Ooh,
So it's a
okay.
tell-all book in 10 questions. So these are things, you really got to think hard about these questions.
Okay.
Okay, this is just to get to know you better.
Okay.
That's all it is, just to get to know you better. So, who was your first celebrity crush as a kid?
My first celebrity crush. Oh, okay, probably David McCullough from The Man from U.N.C.L.E. He was Ilya Kuryakin.
Okay.
I'm old, I keep telling you.
Okay. 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 So, what was the first album you bought as a kid?
Oh, the first album? It had to be the Beatles.
The Beatles.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what was the last album you bought now, recently?
Oh, probably it would be a country one. I can't think of exactly who it was, but would be somebody like Tim McGraw or Blake Shelton or somebody like that.
Okay, all right. And what book are you reading right now, aside from your books?
Oh, what book am I reading right now? I just finished Dying on the Vine by Marla Cooper. She writes a series that is, the protagonist is a wedding planner. And she is also very funny. I really enjoyed reading about it. This one was set out in California.
Is it a mystery book?
It is a mystery.
Okay, what's her name again?
Marla Cooper.
Oh, Marla. Okay, if you had $10 million, if you won $10 million tomorrow, would you quit working?
No.
No.
I would live all over the world, but I would keep writing.
Okay, let's say if you did quit working and you retired, where would you live?
I would love to live in Monterey or Maine or London.
Monterey is beautiful.
It is.
We went up there, we rode horses on the beach.
Oh, neat.
So beautiful, so beautiful. So, what is your favorite comfort food?
My favorite pizza is pizza comfort food. I love pizza.
And where were you, this is a where were you when this happened, where were you when you heard that Princess Diana had been killed?
Well, we lived in Ohio, and I was just in our house, and I think I flipped on the TV and saw that.
Was it late or early?
It was late, I think, at night.
Who's your favorite actor or actress?
Oh, my favorite actor and actress. I love Amy Adams. I always kind of picture her as Sarah if somebody ever, made a movie.
Yeah, if someone
So,
made a movie, who would play her, you think?
I like Amy Adams. Maybe Reese Witherspoon, but I always lean towards Amy. And as far as actor goes, Ryan Gosling isn't bad.
Okay, and if you had your choice, who is the actor you would most like to kiss? I'm sorry, hubby. I'm sorry. We won't tell him.
I think I'm blushing. Okay.
This is an easy one.
It is?
Yeah.
I'm like going through all these guys in my head.
You just need one. You only need one.
Okay, George Clooney.
George Clooney. Okay, all right, George Clooney. So that's basically it. So
Okay.
we got a good overview of your personality, the type of person you are. So are you going to try to option the book off, any of your books off for a movie or anything like that?
I think that's every author's dream. Hallmark already has a series of garage sale mystery movies, which I haven't ever watched because I don't want them in my head. And so getting a TV would be hard to do a TV show based on them. But everybody always hopes that. And, if not this series, maybe I'll write another one someday. And so, yes.
You would like to do
Oh,
that.
I'd love to, yeah.
That would be great. You ever tried Lifetime?
Lifetime's movies, I think, are a little more grim. It always seems like somebody's being kidnapped and
And yours is more on the comedic side, comedy or humorous side.
there is more humor in them. They're just lighter. A lot of people describe the kind of mystery I write as cozy mysteries, or like the TV show Murder, She Wrote. So there isn't graphic sex or violence. It's an amateur sleuth.
So would you, when you think about it, I don't want to get political, but with the things that are going on in the world right now, would you say your books are good escapisms, good
Yes.
ways for escaping from politics, all the things that are going on in the world and everything?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And that's why I try to have something serious, have something lighthearted. In the 6th book, a good friend of hers is going to enter a lasagna baking contest, and so he sends her out to try to check out the competition, and all these kind of funny things happen as she goes from restaurant to restaurant trying to disguise herself. Somebody realizes she's out there. So I always try to do something kind of funny along with the serious stuff.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to let you turn it over to the audience, and if you guys have any questions, we said if you had any questions regarding writing books or becoming a mystery writer, or just writing in general, or just any questions in general.
So one day I was a little full of myself, and Sherry'd asked me a question about the military, and I answered it, and I go, honey, I really inspire you, don't I? And that quickly, she responded, yes, you make me think about murdering someone all the time.
That's funny. Thank you.
You bet.
I'm mystery writer Sherry Harris,
And I'm Wendy Thompson.
and we're in the DC Spotlight.
Let's try that again, one more time.
I'm mystery writer Sherry Harris,
And I'm Wendy Thompson.
and we're in the DC Spotlight.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
It was nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
Have a good day.
Go ahead.
I gotta take a picture with you too.
Where's to my friend sheet?
Recommendation
Okay.
for you on the tips when you do it again.